point.
So
he won.
He's in.
Clap, clap.
Welcome to another episode of the Platform Podcast, a well overdue podcast. As you know, my name's Amrit and Will, recruitment manager, Will Clarkson over here, and it's been a while since we've done one. There's so much that's happened that we'll love to fill you guys up on, and where do we start?
Where do we start? How about we just talk about some of our athletes that are just balling out at the moment?
That's a great start, actually. That's a highlight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Josh Gill did well recently, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, his team just came second at he's in Region 4?
The Region V champs NJCAA, he came second, which is absolutely incredible. And individually, he came fourth in the 8-kilometer run.
That's insane.
So that's awesome. And like, you guys are probably gonna get sick of us posting him all the time because he's doing that good. He's doing so well. And another guy that's doing really well is Dan Person, who came fourth in singles, second in doubles in the NJCAA. So
it's big time for our non-tennis players out there. Give us a rundown about how difficult that is to get in that position.
It's very difficult. I mean, junior college is obviously not based on your sporting ability, right? It's built up on different factors, and it could be academic factors, for example. You might miss out on doing English, and you can't get a D1 deal or a D2 deal, etc. So Dan went to a Tyler Junior College, it's a powerhouse junior college for tennis, and he's gone over there, and he's absolutely balled out. And the reason why I give this young man so much credit and so much praise is because when he was in New Zealand, in Auckland, he was kind of on his own a little bit. He had a really good coach with him for a while, but then he started doing things on his own. And even just getting to train against other players, he wasn't involved in the Tennis New Zealand setup. His family live all the way out in like Botany Howick. So for those that don't know Auckland, it's like a good 30 minutes away from the city.
Yeah, quite a while, especially in traffic.
Yeah, 30 minutes without traffic.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was stringing rackets at a tennis pro shop just to put himself through and earn some money. And you know, it was really hard for him to get that training that he wanted. He hit with my brother a couple of times, and my brother was like, man, this guy's got some talent. And I told the coach, Dash Connell from Tyler Junior College, that when Dan arrives, he's going to ball out, and I can guarantee him that his phone is going to go off with D1 coaches wanting Dan as a transfer, and that's what's happening right now.
I love how we can just like tell these coaches to trust us in terms of these athletes, and then our athletes actually get there and do it.
Oh, 100%,
you know?
Mate. And I think that's why, like, as a recruitment agency, it's so important to never oversell an athlete. You've got to tell the coach and actually give them a full transparent view of what the athlete is actually about and like their level as well. That's so important, and that's why we've been successful as a recruitment agency. We're not going to coaches necessarily; they're coming to us, and it's because we've walked the walk and we've talked the talk, and it's just made everything a lot easier for college coaches.
100%. And who else we got on our list?
Oh mate, I came prepared, Will.
Cooper.
I know you did, but I came prepared. Stop looking at my notes. So
that's how I
Cooper
passed the SAT.
Cooper Morley, amazing swimmer again, like incredible human being. His dad actually worked at Farm in New Zealand with my cousin Kishan, and apparently Cooper's dad was asking for dirt on me to give me a bit of grief from Kish. I don't know what Kishan has told Cooper's dad, but Cooper's dad, if you're out there, I respect you. Please don't throw any shade at me. But Cooper did really well. He was first in the 100-meter backstroke versus West Virginia Mountaineers, which is awesome in that meet. So he's just gone out there, man, and just absolutely dominated, which has been cool.
And that's what you need to do.
100%. And to wrap this up, verbal commitments.
Yeah, it's getting to that time of the year, right?
Hey, I'm taking this one, buddy.
Yeah,
all
you
right?
can take it.
These three verbal commitments are tennis, all right?
Yep.
That's my bread and butter. We got Dan McCall going to University of Montana. Now, this one hits home for me because Jason Brown, the head tennis coach at University of Montana, was the first tennis coach to trust me with a Division 1 recruit. Did you know that? I don't think I told you that.
No.
He had my back, and he trusted me with Milo Ben many years ago. And since then, he's just, with this friendship is just growing. He always DMs me to my Instagram stories on the platform gram, which is hilarious. I think he's awesome. And I sent him Duncan McCall's profile. Now, this is the thing, like, when you're in the college recruitment process, you could look at like 20 to 30 colleges, or you could look at a handful. Duncan looked at a handful. It was like less is more for him. And I didn't sit Duncan down because he's in the Gold Coast, but on a Google Meet call, we sat down with his parents and I said, look, man, this would be the best option for you. It's amazing academically. Duncan loves skiing. He loves like snow sports. It's in Montana. They've got like a ski field like 20 minutes away. They've got amazing indoor facilities. They've got incredible academics and athletic facilities, and they're in the Big Sky Conference. They travel all the way down to California, to Arizona, to Idaho, to Utah. He's going to go all down that west strip. And on top of that, Jason Brown is a guy that I would 100%, if I had a son, I would 100% trust with my life. Like, completely.
Yeah, that's reassuring for all the parents out there.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what we make sure we find.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we do. We want to make sure it's the right environments. And look, sometimes it can be tricky for us because new coaches coming in that are at great programs. So we have to do a bit digging into their background. But yeah, with Coach Brown at University of Montana, man, I can't speak about that program highly enough. And even Ali, our tennis recruiter, the former coach at Boise State, Ali said to me, man, like if I had a daughter or a son, they're going to get coached by either the TCU coach or University of Montana.
There you go.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Duncan's going to have a good time.
Ruby Young, Wyoming.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah. She had a really tough decision to make. You know, she had some, really good offers and some really, really good coaches and programs. So I remember sitting with her, and I sat with a coffee with her and her dad.
Oh, that's right. You met them in Auckland. Was it out of Eastridge? Or?
Yeah, they were up here for a tournament.
That's right.
So I went and caught up with them for a coffee, and I could just see it in her face. She had no idea what she was going to pick. So
that's a good position to be in, right?
Super good position to be in. And it did come down to kind of where she felt like she was going to have, the most secure time, from mum and dad's perspective, as well as, from a tennis perspective, where she was going to get the best development. So she's happy with her decision, and the coach's wife is a Kiwi, correct?
100%. Coach Dean's wife. Dean reached out to me on Facebook quite a few years ago and said, I got a New Zealand connection. My wife's there. Like, I've been there before. And I was like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah. It's awesome. So Ruby's also going to absolutely crush it. She's one of those girls that I just know she's got that mindset where she's just going to go over there and crush it.
She's an overachiever.
Yeah.
Overachiever, man. And then we've got my boy, Will Roberts from Taranaki, my hometown, New Plymouth. His dad actually kicked my ass in a tennis match when I was about 13 years old. He was one of these guys that just ran every ball down. He was a very good squash player. And man, I'm so happy that Will's going to a D1 program. He deserves it because I've literally been in his shoes, but I had my brother to train against. He had no one.
Yeah.
Like, he had a few of the local guys in Taranaki, a few of the older guys. And there'll be times where I would like rock up to the tennis courts, and I would see Will out there with his dad, and his dad's like feeding him tennis balls, and I was like, ugh, this hits home, man. This hits home. I've been there.
PTSD.
Yeah, literally. But mate, being in New Plymouth, you have to drive 4.5 hours, like nearly 5 hours to Wellington, and then 4.5 hours to Auckland. That's where the tournaments are, etc.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to get fired. Unknown caller. It's probably someone asking about a free consult, eh?
Probably. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah. Put this on Do Not Disturb. But anyway, I mean, great for Will, great for the program. We've actually got a few athletes at that school. We've got a guy on the soccer team. We've got a guy on the golf team. So to have someone over there on the tennis team is great. I mean, there was actually a guy called Takane Williams. You're just sitting here listening to this tennis chat, aren't you?
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this guy called TK Williams, and he actually played on my tennis team in Wellington. He went there. And then Nathan, who is the head tennis coach at University of Texas, Grand Valley, he used to be the assistant at UC Davis, and he tried recruiting one of our Lebanese players. So when he went there, I was like, bro, you have to take one of my guys. And then what I did is, like, for Will, we had a lot of these Division II colleges because he hasn't had a chance to play that many tournaments compared to some of the other athletes from different countries. So his ranking wasn't as high as what it should have been.
Yeah.
And I said, mate, I'm going to tell you about this kid. You have to trust me with this. When we got off the phone call, he goes, Amrit, let's do it. And I haven't done this before ever. I did a massive fist pump in the office. I remember when I came up to you and I was like, I think I pulled this one out of the bag.
You did.
Nathan, if you're listening to this, bro, you are a legend, and you're going to be absolutely thrilled to have Will on your team. So that was cool, man. But that sort of wraps up. I know you got a call today.
We actually got a couple more commitments that just popped off the top of my head. Caleb Carlisle. This morning, he's sent his verbal commitment. University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Let's go.
So that's going to be huge.
So
he's a legend.
Is he going to be a Buck supporter? NBA Buck supporter?
I think you have to, don't you? I mean, when I went to Philly, I kind of just naturally, because I'm not a big having favourites when it comes to sports teams. I just like to support sport. Very diplomatic. But when I got to Philly, you just naturally, just merged to that team, the Eagles, and, people hate Philadelphia sports supporters, but I just had to get around it because I was there.
That's good for Caleb, man, because Caleb is he's an absolute gun athlete, right? So I'm stoked for him. Why do you think this is such a good fit for him?
Well, just, everything, when we always go back to those 4 pillars, with the academics suited what he wanted, the swim team was great, the coach was great, the environment was really competitive. He's a real competitive guy. So that worked out for him. Location, Wisconsin can get a bit cold, but the facilities make up for it. That going back to like Montana, although it's it gets cold, you've still got those indoor facilities.
Yeah. It's like so many people say, like if I play summer sport and I'm in cold environments, I can't do well. And I'm like, that's just not true. I mean, we had a golf showcase, and I think it was 2016. I was just actually on the phone to Kevin Smith, from Parapara Ume Beach Golf Club, who got New Zealand Coach of the Year last week or 2 weeks ago. And Kevin and I ran this event, and we had University of Washington, and they're NCAA champions, and it rains in Washington all the time, and these are golfers. Yeah,
and even with, perfect case study, our guy Jordan that's over there at the moment, he visited Boise State, which is, that gets a bit cold up there, but, David, the coach there, absolute legend, when he took them around, he made sure that they knew, if it's cold, if it's snowing, if it's raining, here's our indoor facility. And it was wicked. I got sent some photos, and there's, state-of-the-art stuff. So that's awesome. And Nico Alley, he's also committed.
Oh, he's committed.
He committed this morning.
Mate, I'm so out of the loop in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I've been working, man. I've been putting in some hours. But at Damon University in New York, Division 2 school, he's absolutely stoked. I mean, Nico's just a wizard academically. So
he's an old boy. He's a
Rosmini.
Is he Rosmini boy?
Yeah,
okay.
Bleed red and blue. And he's a whiz with the academic side of things. So that was a main one for us. And cool. I chatted to Ryan from ASM about it, and because he played in Buffalo, he knows the area quite well. Yeah. So I was chatting with him, and he said, if you want academics, that's the place to go.
Perfect.
So he's going to have a blast over there.
Perfect.
But like you said, I'm chatting with one of our swimmers this evening in about half an hour actually, and we're getting to that crunch time. We have to make a decision. So we're going to go through every aspect and get to the bottom of it.
Cool, man.
But heaps of movement, and it's just only going to come in. I mean, we're creeping up to November 10th. That means that a lot of athletes like to have their decisions sorted out. Not saying that they all need to, but a lot of them do like to. So that's a lot of commitments are going to be coming in the next week.
I think look, it's always good to have your ducks in a row. It's always good to be organised. However, sometimes coaches aren't looking. Like, I was on the phone to Coach Ender. He's the head men's soccer coach at Christian Brothers University in Memphis, Tennessee. And he was on the bus, and he's like, oh, your boy Reuben Jones, who's one of our athletes there, is in the back sleeping. We just had a great game. Reuben's been balling out, man. Like, he's been great. Ewan's been doing great. Ewan Mullet from Nelson. Yep. And he's a goalkeeper there. And I said, mate, I got 2 guys for you for August. Have you finished your recruiting? He said, Amrit, we haven't even started. I had this call with them last week.
Yeah, a lot of coaches. I even had a golf coach today message me, a D1 golf coach, asking if we had any guys for August. He hasn't even started his recruitment either. Yeah. It's I mean, a lot of sports like to be wrapped up early, but in saying that, there's still plenty of time. There's much a lot of time. And look, the college process is weird. Coaches will hit you up very quickly, and then they might ghost you for a couple of months, and then they'll start recruiting you again. And a lot of athletes get disheartened by that. Sure, if they're leaving you on scene on 10 messages, and that's different. But remember, guys, listening to this, coaches are not only coach, they're parent, they're manager, they're physios, they're support. The mum and dad. They've got family that they need to take care of. There's a lot of things that go into a coach's life, and recruiting is a beast. And if some of the coaches don't have the support mechanisms, the support staff to really go out there and recruit these student athletes, and they've got to do it on their own, then just be a bit patient. If it's just one coach for that college team, just be a bit patient, and I promise you that they'll come around. But now let's talk about the Napier trip, because as most people in New Zealand were on holiday,
we were out in Napier working.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome trip,
It was so fun. It was so fun. I had the best time.
Bro, I clutched that Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, we had a mean spot. Because I rocked up first, and I remember walking out. I was like, oh, yeah, this is nice. I'll do this one again.
Yeah. I think because we've done it for the last couple of years, and for those that don't know the Napier tournament, it's an under-19 soccer championship held in Napier. There's a number of teams all from around New Zealand that are competing for a trophy, both men's and women's, and we love it because a lot of it's not just clients that want to come on board, but it's our clients that have been placed, that are a bit older. They get to play in that as well. And we get to have the opportunity to work with a number of soccer clubs all throughout New Zealand. And this is a chance for us to actually be under one roof and have a beer with these coaches, have coffees with them, talk to them about some of the athletes coming through and just building relationships, which is really important for us. And I had a great time. I thought it was awesome. It's 3 days. We got there on the Friday, as Will mentioned. He got there first and got the best room in the Airbnb.
Do you reckon? I thought I gave you the best room. I
Really?
was like, yeah.
You had the nice ocean view, you know. Had a nice ocean view.
Yeah.
Nice view of the car park.
But no, I think it was great. Like, I mean, I spend so much time chatting to all of our athletes on WhatsApp, Google Meets, and doing all that. But actually getting to, physically, high five them, dab them up, or give them a hug, all that stuff. It means a lot to me as a recruiter.
Even the parents, like seeing James Stewart's mum, and went up to her and I was standing up. I was standing up, and then she grabs it. She gets her knee and bends my knee over, and I was like, "Oh, jeez." But then giving her a big hug and just talking to her about her boy and where he's going to go, that was awesome.
It means a lot.
It's more than just a college placement for us. We really care about our kids. We want them to do well, and we want to make sure that they're okay. And we're talking to parents in Napier, and there are things that other people don't know that are going on. There's academic stress. There's team selection stress.
Yeah, financial stress. There's
financial stress.
So many things that can go into it.
Absolutely. So we want to make sure that everyone's sweet, and if there's any problems, we deal with it, and we keep moving forward in the process. But the Friday night had the team not team captains,
coaches.
Team coaches night. I keep saying that. Team coaches night. And Graham, that's a representative for the Napier City Rovers, which we've also got a partnership with, invited me on stage to speak for 15 seconds. That whole week, I was feeling pretty crook, so I couldn't get up there and talk too much, but we managed to get some good content. Will was following me around with the camera.
You texted me, I remember I was driving on the way down, and you're like, mate, you might have to speak at this thing. I don't know if I'm up for it.
Remember next to you when I was sitting down at the table and all right, we got a platform coming. I'm just like...
I was ready though. I was like, okay, I've never done this, but I'm just gonna have to do it.
I had no idea how I did that. When you're talking and you hear yourself talking, you're like, how are you stringing a sentence together?
Yeah,
I felt like
it's just blank. It's just blank,
bro. I had no. Then when I came down and sat next to you, I was like, was that okay? You're like, yeah, it was actually not bad.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. It was good to see a lot of the coaches. We got to go out and socialise with our good friends at Nelson Suburbs FC.
Yeah.
The coaches over there. Shout out Neil.
Yeah, Neil. He was on good form. He was on good form.
I mean, it was a shame that we couldn't see Skippy, the technical director.
Was it?
But yeah, well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, every time I catch up with Skippy, it's a bit of a party. But when I'm with Skippy, though, it's such a great time. He cares so much about his kids, man, which is awesome. Bro, you've watched these athletes compete on video. You've been sitting here at the office. Now you had an opportunity to go and watch them play in person. How did that feel for you?
Well, it's because obviously I'm not the biggest soccer head or football head, whatever you want to call it. It was a new sport to me, just coming into this industry and learning about it. And I just didn't understand just how quite physical it was. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a rugby family, so you've always had that stigma of, soccer players are, not as soft, not as tough. And so actually seeing them push each other around, I mean, I remember seeing Flynn just
Flynn Saxon, baby,
bowl some guy, and our guy Surrey, I got it on tape actually, him just getting at his ankles absolutely taken out and just getting up and keep going. I'm like, wow, I'd be out for
mate, our tent was next to the ambulance. You saw how many kids were going up to them with injuries? Dude,
it was a real eye opener for me, because it's just these guys actually throw their bodies around, and it's way more physical than what I thought. So, I always respect athletes, but my respect level for soccer players has gone through the roof.
Bro, I love passion. Yeah. I love passion. I love sport. And when you see I saw my mate Rudy, that was coach, the head coach for Bay Olympic, like having a crack at the ref, and I was like, yes, like, I mean, in fair, like, it was a bad call, but I was like, that's what sport is, you know, like, it's not all nicey, like, you got to be out there, you got to give it everything, you got to show heart, like, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to bring in with my lacrosse team at the moment. We had a great win on the weekend. Shout out to the Hawks boys, especially Kyle. We got like 6 goals or something. Kyle Parker, platform athlete. And I just say that, I said, we just need to bring energy on the sideline. You know, every time a goal's scored, everyone should be cheering and carrying on. Like, that's how, that's how the team succeeds. And that's why our players are so good, because they are passionate about what they want to do.
Cool, man. Hey, how cool is this water polo showcase coming up in December, eh?
Yeah.
Turning a few heads.
Big time. We've had a lot of messages about it. A lot of people inquiring, but give us a rundown, mate. What's going on?
Well, look, I've been talking with my mate Sefa. For those that don't know, Sefa had a great career as a water polo athlete in Cal Berkeley, and then he actually went to junior college first, and then went to Cal Berkeley, then graduated, came back to New Zealand, was running a couple of clubs over here, and then involved with New Zealand water polo, and then now is the assistant at University of Pacific. And if people have been following us for a while, they know what we're about. We want to make the college process easy, but we want to make the college system accessible for student athletes. What's happening right now is athletes, if they want to get seen by college coaches, they got to do a tour to America, pay money for their flights, for like their accommodation and everything, and then play in front of these coaches. I was like, why don't we just bring them here?
The old Uno reverse.
Yeah, play the reverse card, brother. You got it. And so we did that. So I contacted Sefa and I said, mate, you're in California right now as a D1 water polo coach. What are the chances that you can talk to all of your mates throughout California and get them to come to New Zealand? And he said, bro, say less, let's do it.
Yeah, not only California, is it?
Yeah, well, that's it. We got New York coming as well. We got Wagner. Long Island are looking at it. There's a list. Like, I know Stefan, who's busy working behind the camera at the moment. I won't pester him today.
He got a bit upset last time we called him out on the pod.
We've got to stitch up Stefan. His mum called me and he said that he got a bit upset when he got home. Just kidding, Stefan. Love you, Mrs. Minich. Anyway, so regarding Sefa, like we said, look, let's do a water polo event. And so first of all, Sefa goes, I've got the guy that we need to partner with this on. So he contacted his mate, Albert. And Albert is this incredible former athlete. He's now coaching. But he's won medals, mate. He's won medals. He's been to the Worlds. He's got a massive connection base in California. So he's coming to New Zealand to run skills and drills. Awesome. So these athletes are going to get training, but also they're going to get training in front of Division 1 college coaches. And then these athletes are going to get a chance to compete in front of D1 college coaches. We're going to have like a mix and mingle kind of thing where parents can come up and talk to them as well. And then at the end, we'll be taking out some local water polo coaches and the college coaches out for an evening. So I'm excited. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be, so fun. I mean, it's all about that exposure. Yep. It's all about that exposure. And I mean, our platform athletes are going to get access to it.
Yeah, 100%. And also like, there might be some athletes that pay a few $100 to come in and to get some exposure, right, to be involved in this event, and might realize I don't want to go to college. Yeah. At least they didn't spend thousands on a recruitment agency, and they only spent a few $100.
100%. And you get great coaching.
Yeah,
that's the other aspect.
You get good coaching. Do you reckon the video cameras will be able to get?
Yeah, 100%.
They'll be able to work.
Oh yeah, I'll get them set up. Yeah.
Yeah, these video cameras are like these live streaming and also motion detecting cameras. They're on like a 4 meter tripod, 3 meter tripod.
I don't think we'd need that for water polo. I think.
Do you reckon it'll be wide enough though?
Yeah, no, definitely.
But they do move automatically if they follow a ball, right?
Yeah, I'll have to double check that they're water polo compatible. But I mean, they're lacrosse compatible, so surely they're water polo.
We can put them on both ends of the pool.
100%.
It'll be quite cool. But athletes can get that video footage and they can use it if they do want to go to college. But we've also got a junior college coming. Golden West are coming.
Golden West are awesome. They're a sick JUCO, right?
Amazing junior college that have had so many athletes transfer from their junior college program into schools like Cal Berkeley, UCLA, Stanford. So I'm pumped, man. It's going to be awesome. I love connecting with college coaches, and I think this is going to be a great opportunity for so many athletes. And I know that there potentially could be some athletes from Australia coming over as well. I spoke to Bjorn the other day, a great water polo coach from Brisbane, and he said, Amrit, I'm going to talk to some of my team and we're going to try and make this happen.
Well, it's a lot easier coming from, Australia to New
Across the
Zealand,
ditch.
a lot across the ditch than across the Pacific.
Yeah.
It's huge. So yeah, again, super exciting, and we'll be busy. It's going to be a busy time, but we're excited.
Very, very busy time. Now, my notes are done.
Yeah.
My notes are done. Let's talk about the ASM Scholarships partnership. As you guys know, we have partnered with ASM Scholarships, a fantastic recruitment company based in West Palm Beach, Florida. So if you haven't seen the video, long story short, I connected with Gareth. He's the business development manager for ASM Scholarships. He's based in Spain. He's spending some time with his mum. And we connected over WhatsApp. And then he introduced me to the CEO, Chris Vidal, who I actually followed when I first started my company when I was 22 years old. He's a bit older than me. He's 6 years older than me. He probably would have liked me saying that, but he's 6 years older than me. And Chris was a former college athlete. He played golf. He's originally from the UK, played golf in the US. Ran an amazing company helping a lot of athletes get scholarships in the US. Teamed up with the legendary professional golfer Ernie Els, former world #1 golfer. And they've just put together this incredible recruitment team. And they're based in one big office in Florida. And they do all sorts of sports, right? You name it, all across the 24 sports they cover. And they're a team of not just top-end elite athletes, but former college coaches, Division I college coaches. So I actually know Ryan Arvin, who is he used to be the soccer recruiter, now he's the director of student athletes. And Ryan coached at St. John's University, which is where I connected with him. He actually didn't reply to a text message that I sent him about a recruit.
Do you hold him to that?
Oh, he owes me at least a couple of beers when I go over there and see them in Florida. So Ryan, if you're watching this, you owe me 2 beers, mate. But no, it's been awesome. The synergy's been great. How do you feel talking to them, man?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's great to have other people to bounce ideas and recruits off, and I mean, I was talking to a rugby boy this morning. I just hit up Fabian, who's over there. He's the head of rugby. I was like, what do you think? And he's like, oh, he's sick. He's awesome, and it's just like reassurance that for me that I'm doing the right thing.
100%. And I know, like, look, you know how there's too many cooks in the kitchen. It relates to everything but college recruitment.
No, the better.
Yeah, we want a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but quality ones. And with Fabian, like, he interviewed the UCLA men's rugby coach just recently. We won't hold it against it. This UCLA coach is Australian.
Yeah.
But we won't hold him against it. But anyway, Fabian had a great Instagram live with them. So, like, the way our partnership works is any client that hits up ASM from New Zealand and Australia comes through our offices, and we add together as a team. We work with you. If you're a platform athlete, you're now an ASM athlete, and we work together throughout the entire process. So nothing changes. We're still here.
Our team's just gone from, what was it?
It's just gone bigger.
9 to 45 or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. But also, our recruitment team, Simon on the soccer side, Natasha on the swimming side. I spoke to Natasha this morning. They ain't going anywhere. They're staying here.
They're too valuable.
Well, they're the platform family.
Yeah.
They're the platform family. Unfortunately, it's like the Eagles song in Hotel California. Once you checked in, you can never leave. And that's the way it is with the platform family. So, Stefan, that's a good one, huh?
He's cracking up in the background there.
Clip that up for Instagram, please. But you know what I mean? Like, our team is so good. We're so loyal. And, I mean, we've got one of our former athletes. I mean, well, he's actually, I wouldn't say former athlete. He's just back home just for a particular situation personally. And hopefully he goes back to the States. But he's looking for work. And I just hit up our boy Andy Pete, and he's helping him out. So.
Yeah. That's what we do here. And this is what I was actually chatting with someone about this morning is, we're not just an agency. We're a community. We're trying to build this network of international student athletes because it's such a niche. It's such a niche. And just to be able to talk to someone that's in the same boat as you, is wearing the same shoes as you, I think is so important. And that's something that I didn't get when I was going through the process. So the fact now that I can help now facilitate that is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and I think like ASM holds so many values that we hold: honesty, transparency, loyalty, very important. But we're also held accountable. Like, we run a pretty tight ship over here. If things aren't done, I mention it to you. If things aren't done for me, you mention it to me. If Stefan doesn't do something, we mention it to him. We hold each other accountable to make sure that we're doing things the best we can for our student athletes. ASM do the exact same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ryan even ripped me out
This morning.
Yeah,
What did he
this
say?
morning because I was supposed
He's
to
going to hit you with his
Yeah, it was
lacrosse
supposed to
stick.
be Saturday because I was playing lacrosse, and he was like, "I'll send this document," and I forgot to send it. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to hit you with the lacrosse stick if you don't send it." So yeah, it's great. Like accountability is everything.
Yeah, accountability is everything, Will. So, Chris, if you're watching this, you have to come to New Zealand because you lost the bet.
Yeah.
New Zealand went further than England in the World Cup.
Are we going to talk about that?
I think we should.
I think we have to.
Yeah, but Chris, he has to come to New Zealand.
He does.
So we're going to hold him accountable to that.
We will. We'll get you. Yeah. So yeah, the World Cup, the final was on Sunday morning. Super upsetting, and it shows just kind of how, these big tournaments, no matter it's just who turns up on the day.
I mean, look, credit to South Africa. I mean, they're playing on the same field as the All Blacks.
Credit to Wayne Barnes too.
The same. I knew you were going to say that, bro. I was going to go in with the real, nice guy chat. They're using the same field, the same rugby ball. They got shirts and shorts on and boots.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, I think All Blacks got stitched up. I know that, Ernie Els, co-founder of ASM, probably wouldn't like us chatting about this because he's South African and fair game. Well done, Ernie.
Let's talk
Shake
about
hands.
it over a beer.
But I think that the TMO just disrupted the game a bit. I mean, I do agree that Sam Cane should have got that red. That's the rules. But what I do agree is that
Khaleesi should have got one too.
Yeah, I think there should have been consistency. Then people argue, but it was shoulder to head. Bro, it was head to head.
Yeah, and that's
Did you see Artie at the end?
And it's the toughest thing when it comes to being don't get me wrong, I have the most respect for referees. They've got the toughest job out there. They're dealing with coaches, they're dealing with players, and this is something I talk about with my lacrosse refs that ref male games, and it's we're going to chirp you during the game, but just remember that I've got utmost respect for you. But it is a consistency thing, I think, and if a ref can be consistent on both ends, if you're going to call a red card for one thing, call it for, if it's the exact same thing, call the same thing.
Yeah, but also when Aaron Smith got that try and they wound them all the way back for that penalty,
which was 4 minutes before.
But yet, I get that, right? But yet again, you can hear Wayne Barnes talking on the microphone.
Not a knock on.
Yeah, but then also in the first half, Artie Sevilla went over the ruck and turned it over. And it was meant to be a penalty for the All Blacks, but he gave it to South Africa.
He said, "Sorry, I didn't see you release him." That's
what
he
he
said.
No, he goes, "I saw it on the screen," and this is as the South Africa kicker is taking his steps about to punt the ball over. If that wasn't given, 1 point difference. But you could do these what ifs. I just hate it not being fair. And I think that there were some inconsistencies in that game. But again, All Blacks had an opportunity in front of them and they didn't take it. So credit to South Africa.
Yeah, and credit to South Africa. And it was a great tournament, non-stop. I enjoyed every game of rugby I watched at that tournament.
Fizzing about the Ireland All Blacks game.
Oh, dude, I reckon that was the best game I've ever actually watched.
We were in Napier, right?
No, that was Argentina. That was Argentina.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, the Ireland game, I was sitting at home with the boys, with the flatmates watching it, and all of us were jumping, we were fizzing, we were so excited. And I felt like watching that final, I wasn't excited. I was just what's going to happen?
Bro, did you see Israel Dagg's face at the halftime?
Oh, he was not happy, eh?
Nah.
His halftime chat was pretty brutal, but it's true though. I mean, it's supposed to be the spectacle of sport, right?
Yeah.
It'd be I don't know what to relate it to. You can't really. This is the first time I've, experienced something like this. And it's just I just felt a little bit let down at the end of it. I felt like it was such a great tournament. I was so excited for the final, and it was just there was one try in the entire final.
I feel like the TMO upstairs was trying really hard not to make a mistake.
He was over trying.
Yeah, I get that. It's a high pressure situation.
Yeah, and it was his first World Cup and first obviously World Cup final. That TMO ref. So fairness to him, he tried his best.
I think Wayne Barnes actually tried his best to keep it going. I think he just got a bit disrupted in the earpiece.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And it is true. And now playing it at that level of sport, it's different. Obviously, at the under-19 nationals, there's not TMOs, there's not, any of that. So
just coaches on the sideline going ballistic, getting red cards.
so in that way, you can just be it's the call he made at the time. It's the call the ref saw and just deal with it. But I guess it is different at that intense level where you got 1,000 cameras on the TV and, you can see every single angle. But
yeah. Well, look, we've got a few South African athletes, mate. We've got Jared Miller, good golfer. He's back from the US now, and his dad, Sean Miller, is it's like a brother to me, bro. He still hasn't invited me around for a barbecue yet. He does a really good barbecue.
We did a podcast with him, didn't we?
We did.
We did
Actually. We did. So Sean, well done, brother. Ernie Els, well done, mate. Good on you. But I really feel for Sam Cane.
Oh, I do. Well, did you listen to his press conference after? Yeah. I have to live with that red card forever. Yeah. You know, that's tough. Yeah. But it
just shows athletes that things can go wrong. It's okay. And if you look at all the comments in the New Zealand Herald, everyone is getting behind Sam Cane.
Oh, and for
it's not your fault, mate.
And for someone that got absolutely reamed, like at the start of this year, like prior to the World Cup, people saying not my captain, all that kind of jazz. For him to come out and perform like that, and he did showcase just how passionate. And I think going back to that passion aspect that we've been talking about, you know, it's to play at that elite level, you need to be that passionate. You need to like die for the team, you know, not literally, but you know, you need to leave it all out there.
I'm glad you said not literally. Thanks, bro. But anyway, that's it. That's the episode of the Platform Podcast. You got your call with your student athlete about that verbal commitment.
In 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes time, so we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're going to get this content rolling out to you guys. We should bring on some guests.
We should.
We finally got the lighting all sorted.
Well, Jordan's on his way back from his visits. We should get him in here.
That will be very cool. Maybe his dad.
Maybe his dad too. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's the episode. Have a fantastic time. Have a fantastic week. And until next time, that is the Platform Podcast.
Mic drop.